thought we would talk today about the most important champs that I've built as a free-to-play player in King Arthur Legends Rise. I'm not going to be necessarily talking to you about the best champs that I have, but the most important decisions that I made through my progress to build someone, like who had the most impact that I built. So just keep in mind, I'm not saying these are the 5 best champs that I have. I'm just telling you who I feel like has made the biggest impact for me since I started playing the game. So let's start with probably Anguish. I think Anguish is a good place to start. If not for him, I would not be able to do what I've done in Gorgos. He is the reason that we've had the success that we've had in Gorgos. I got Rosier quite a bit later, and I'm using her in there now as well, as on top of Anguish. But for my initial progress, the initial investment, this was huge. That he allowed me to have gold incoming on a pretty regular basis, and it's you see I'm out of gold right now. I'm up to the 200 gem purchase. We've been spending a lot of gems on energy lately because I just have so much to do. So he's been a huge help, and he's not really super hard to build. Of course, everybody can go in a vigor set. That's straight out of the gate. You know that's the case. I've got him in a couple of life sets and then a couple of broken pieces because I really just wanted to get him in a place where he's usable. I probably need to revisit his gear when I get some gold. That's the thing I've been doing, is going back on the champs that I built a few weeks ago and trying to redo their gear a little bit so that they can catch up. And it's been working out. We actually just cleared our first Pinveed 10 on auto. We just did a Pinveed 10 run on auto that was 220 because I went back and just made a couple of changes to these champs. So we'll do a video where we talk specifically about them and that team soon. But for now, we're talking about other stuff. So yeah, I would say Anguish is pretty impactful, and not anyone that I see myself really outgrowing anytime soon. The only way I think I would stop using him is if I got Lancelot. I feel like he could probably take Lancelot could probably take his space on the team in Gorgos. But short of that, I don't know what makes me stop using him. So well worth the investment early on. And again, until I pull Lancelot, and I might even use him in conjunction with Lancelot if I got him. I don't really know how that would go. So well worth it. But in a perfect scenario, I think I would probably leave effect accuracy here, but these would be tank stats. I just need him to be able to tank a little bit better for the later stages. But yeah, like his chest plate, I think I was in the middle of re-gearing him at one point and just ran out of gold and never made my way back to him. So it's a testament to how good he is, honestly. He's got incomplete gear, not the right gear in the right spots. He doesn't even have like real set synergy. And he's still holding his own. We're still this close to a Gorgos 9 farm. And I bet you if I come in here and rework him, we get a 9 farm and could start thinking about a 10 farm. So Anguish was a very worthwhile investment early on. Another one, you know, we got to give some love to Clementine. She was the first healer that I decided to invest in. And she's still kind of my go-to. I throw her in before I throw anyone else in. I'm still developing Sarah. I'll say that I think Sarah, as far as her ability to heal, is the best. It's really hard to argue that on her Ice Relic. She has a 20% of her max HP, and then as you skill it up, it goes up. It's the most substantial heal I know of that a rare gives, unless Turin has a better one. But I really like Clementine's skills around her heal as well. This A3 is so clutch. There is so much we've beaten because of a well-timed A3 from her. It's so handy, and then not to mention her other skills. 80% chance to trigger when using skill 3. She gets another full turn, and then triggers the future to come, which she has that because I have Chivalry on her. Before that, it's called something else. And it's a AoE 4 hitter with decent enough damage. We're not building her for attack. But then 100% chance to reduce attack gauge by 40%, and that's everybody. That's an AoE turn meter knockback. So, again, she's bringing a lot of turn meter control, along with her ability to heal. She's also got this with her heal, where she'll hit a random enemy and knock their turn meter back. So lots of turn meter built into her kit automatically that you don't really necessarily have to specifically focus on top of the active A3. She's got a solid enough heal on the A2 and a good passive heal on the A1. She's still my favorite healer. Now, again, I think Sarah's ability to heal is stronger than Clementine's, but Clementine does so much more useful stuff that I'm just such a big fan of her. And she has, I mean, in some cases, carried. She's just really been impactful. And I continue to use her and develop her, and she doesn't seem to be falling off anytime soon. So another one that I think was one of the more impactful investments that I made in the account. Moving along, it is going to be Morgan. I did a full video on Morgan recently about how it's a mistake to not invest in her, and I made that mistake. I kind of put her on the back burner for a little bit, and then finally I was like, you know what? Let me like rewind a little bit and invest in what the game gives you, because they give you her straight out of the gate pretty much. And I was like, let me not move her to the side just because she was free and really give her a go. And she's been crazy. She's the reason we can probably kill some of the bosses we can kill because of her damage increase taken type stats. She's got good turn meter knockback on the A2. It only costs 2 vigor as well, so you can kind of cycle it every turn if you've got enough vigor on the team. She's got a solid A3 that you can use for recovery disruption until you build maybe Akalon. Akalon has a more reliable one that only costs 2 vigor. But she's got it in her kit if you want it. And then the sleep is pretty clutch on the A1 as well. And then Squall of Thorns is really the big... Her A2, and then the Squall of Thorns is like so good. I'm really trying to get another skill up here, but I'm at the point where they're very expensive now, so it's going to be a minute. But if I could get this to where it goes up for 2 turns, that's going to change things. Because often she'll land it right before the boss gets a turn, and then no one gets to really utilize it. So if we can get it going up for 2 turns, that's going to be huge for us. But this defense decrease 2 and damage taken increase 3, it really is noticeable when you're, especially in like Penveed and even like the Bear, the Frozen Plains. It's pretty handy in there. So she's really, really good. And very quickly to talk about her in a vigor set, I think she's fantastic because you'll be using her in so many places, and vigor sets are going to be pretty limited early on. I think if you can get vigor sets on the champs that you're using on a widespread basis instead of like a niche example in one team, I think that's the way to go with them. And she's a good example of someone you'll be using in most content. So vigor set, and then I just tried to tank her up a little bit, give her some attack speed, and I think if I can. When I can craft it, I'll put effect accuracy here. And then I was able to craft her this belt a few minutes ago, actually. This effect accuracy belt that shoots her accuracy up. But she's been performing pretty well for me with 21 less effect accuracy than she has here, which is virtually none. So she's been doing fine lacking effect accuracy. So I'm trying to shoot that up a little bit so that she can land everything more reliably and really make an impact. So we'll see how that goes. I gotta farm a little bit so I can craft her some vigor necklaces and hopefully get effect accuracy. But I would say she is definitely among the top 5 most impactful champs I've built as I've progressed. Even though I was a little bit late to building her, as soon as I started investing in her, I started noticing the difference in what she was bringing to the account. So definitely solid option. For the number 4 spot, that's kind of an interesting one. I feel like the 4 spot, we could probably... There's a few options. But as far as being impactful and allowing me to do things, and who I invested in early, I think I gotta give it to Jarrett, man. I think... But similar things to what I said about Anguish. I don't think I would have been doing what I was doing in Gorgos without him. I think he made it possible. He is just really, really good for that dungeon, man. This right here. If you have 2 or more effect accuracy increase, removes all buffs from himself, recharges all allies' attack gauge by 40%, which is substantial, and removes all dots from all allies, and there's no cooldown. And he puts this on himself. When inflicted with dot, gain effect accuracy increase for the rest of the battle. He puts dots on himself, and then Gorgos is also putting dots. He's going to end up with 2 dots very frequently. So he's regularly going to be cleansing dots from your team and boosting the team's turn meter. He's huge for that dungeon. I really don't think I would have been doing what I was doing without him. I put him in a vigor set as well, just to assist with the team. And I haven't even put keepsakes on him yet. I need to come in here and do that. I think I noticed that last video, and I never got around to it. So I think I don't really have much for him that makes a lot of sense either. I'm gonna be real about it. Maybe that's why I haven't done it, because I just don't have any that make a lot of sense yet. But he's been well worth the investment. I've regretted nothing I've put into him. I have not considered resetting him even briefly. We were lucky enough to get the A2 skilled up. But he's just such an easy build. Such an easy build, easy investment, and so impactful. I didn't mean to back all the way out. I think it's got to be him. I think he's got to be the number 4 spot for this. There's some honorable mentions. Akalon, who I built very recently, has been pretty impactful. We wouldn't be doing Frozen Plains for sure without Akalon. Sigrun, very impactful as well. But I didn't really lean into her until very recently either. But she makes the Mark dungeon, you know, quite a formality pretty much. I'm liking Tristan. I don't know that I feel like he's super impactful yet, but I'm still continuing to invest in him and make him stronger and see if I can't change the way people feel about him. But yeah, so I would say Sigrun and Akalon are probably honorable mentions. You see I have Ain here, but I so recently got Ain, I haven't really even been able to feel the impact of having Ain yet. So that's why she's not on the list. And then as far as like the number 1 most impactful, I think y'all already knew, it has to be Kay. Kay is absurd. She's my main source of damage everywhere I go, even if it's fire. Even if the enemy is fire, she's still my main source of damage. I take her literally everywhere except Gorgos. Everywhere that I need hit damage, I bring Kay. And she's my first 10 chivalry. She's going to be my first one with 6 purple stars. She's going to be the first one with a maxed out relic. I'm just continuing to go all in. I'm going to skill her all the way up. I'm going to fully max out Kay because she just is showing no signs of slowing down for me. Her damage is crazy. She's got multi-hits. Her other relics have some good utility as well. She's just really good all around. And I think by far the most impactful, because most of what we're clearing requires that damage, and she's the one that's bringing it. So could you get it elsewhere? Maybe. I don't know. I know a lot of people really... Here's the thing about Arthur. Everybody really seemed to love Arthur in like the first week of the game. And then from there, I feel like I've heard nothing but negative things about Arthur. I never got on board with it. I started to build him because of how good everybody was talking about him, but I just never really felt the impact. I don't think he's bad. I just was getting what I needed from Kay. I was like, I don't see why I need to continue to invest in him like that. So I don't know. Let me know where you guys are at now with Arthur, because I have such mixed reviews on him, and lately it feels like it's mostly negative. I feel like most people that talk about him talk about regretting the investment. So let me know where you're at with Arthur. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't think he's bad, but I don't have any plans to max him anytime soon either. So I don't know what that necessarily says, but I would say Kay. Kay is my number 1 most impactful champ that I've built so far. So I'm excited to get some more of these champs developed and see how that changes maybe in the next month or so. I'm expecting big things out of Ain. I would like to get Bedivere 6-starred soon and really get some resources into him and see what we can do with him. I've heard interesting stuff about Ban. I still want to get Lot rolling. I want to check her out. I've heard some interesting things about her. Same with Turin. I just don't know if I need a 4th healer right now, so I haven't built her yet. There's a lot of very interesting champs in this game that I want to get to, and yeah, maybe we'll revisit this in another month or so and see how the list has changed. Maybe see if we still feel like Kay's the number 1 most impactful champ we've built and all that stuff. But I'd be interested to hear about your experience. I'm sure you guys are building very different champs. I know there's some people that are like really interested in me getting to this guy. Apparently he's really, really good. I've seen a little bit on him. He does seem awesome. He's definitely the next one I'm most interested in building. And then again, Turin, some of the champs we talked about in here, I've heard a lot of very interesting things about. So let me know who are your top 5 that you've built? Not necessarily the best champs in your account from a tier list standpoint, but like, who do you feel like are the most impactful investments you've made? Who do you feel like you would be struggling had you not built? You know what I'm saying? I'd be kind of interested to hear what y'all's experience has been like there as well. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here for this one. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to be a supporter, for the content creator program thing, there's a link down below. You can check out. I send out like free rewards and stuff as they give them to me. So it's pretty cool. I'm still learning about it, but it's a pretty cool program. So if you want to check that out, there's a link below. Other than that, I'm interested in hearing about y'all's experience with the game so far. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.